Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between Sock versus ReMinD. This game taking place here on Concealed Hill. Sock has spawned as the yellow human on the bottom left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, ReMinD has spawned as the red Night Elf. Night Elf versus human in a 1v1 matchup. I vote Crota to be best millennial dad. Yeah. I guess technically I'm a millennial, but I'm also like the Oregon Trail generation. Like it depends on that particular cusp, right? So yeah, I guess like the lost generation, remembering having to go to computer labs in order to go to use computers and stuff like that. No, I'm not Gen X. People also called me Gen Y, right? Like Gen X is I know a lot of Gen Xers, and I'm definitely not Gen X. I'm not Gen Xer. A lot of Gen Xers are much more driven, right? Like much more driven in terms of work, and Gen or the millennials are much more. And I'm not saying that in any sort of negative way. Millennials much more care about work-life balance. All right, it's just a slight difference. It's like no, I want proper work-life balance, and Gen X is like no, I'm gonna work really hard, create something bigger, and I don't know why that, or it's just my observation, in my limited observation, based on like circumstantial evidence and all of that there. All right, thank you to the 8 viewers who stuck around between game number 1 and game number 2, as we are looking at a Keeper of the Grove going up against an Archmage matchup. For all you guys out there watching on YouTube, if you guys do have a free Twitch or Twitch Prime subscription because you have access to Amazon Prime, do definitely consider using it on my channel. Every bit does definitely help. Losing sponsorship on my channel recently has changed the dynamics, and I'm hoping to make up for the loss of compensation in some way, shape, or form. Gen X are like the Atari age, right? Yeah, a little bit more of the Atari age. Millennials, the early millennials, or what I would call the Oregon Trail, like that in between X and Y, is the Nintendo generation, and then the millennials are tail end of Super Nintendo and a Super Nintendo into N64, if we were to date it by gaming consoles. Archmage making its way back over here. Water Elemental going to get cleaned up. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove looking to put in a little bit of pressure as the Militia are looking to make their way over and try and set up an expansion. Sock being very aggressive here with the expansions, bringing in Militia. There are Treants already brought on over. We could be looking at it, some Entangles. Water Elementals may get dispelled as well, as the Archmage may try and pick up some of those tomes to deny him from the Keeper of the Grove. All right, no Wardens getting taken down. Keeper of the Grove looking to just pick off units that are easy to take down amongst all of this chaos. Takes down 1 Militia. Another 2 Militia shouldn't be too difficult to take out. Keeper of the Grove should be able to get 1 more shot off on that unit. And wow, I think he purposely waited for the slow poison to really tick a couple more times, allowing him to try and allowing him only 2 auto attacks from the Keeper of the Grove to take down that unit. Yeah, I'm a millennial, Super NES and N64 times. All right, Keeper of the Grove gonna finish off a footman there. Keeper of the Grove still with plenty of mana, gonna, well, enable a couple more entangles, and this is how the Keeper of the Grove is just able to pressure down so many units so quickly. Keeper of the Grove, however, taking quite a bit of damage with that footman down to 13 hit points. Slight miscalculation by ReMinD to not get in 1 additional auto attack. ReMinD now coming across with those huntresses as well, not just mass archers, as more and more footmen have checked in to defend, making it that much more difficult. Who got the experience? I believe the Keeper of the Grove got the experience right there. There's a Dust of Appearance, level 3 now on the Archmage. Archmage does end up picking up the Ring of Protection +4, a very useful item early on in the game if you're trying to mitigate damage, but you should always be trying to mitigate damage from your Archmage. Archmage still sitting at level 3 here, should have level 2 water elementals, which will make it much more difficult for ReMind's Huntresses to lay down pressure. Tree of Life nearly done. Sock hasn't even started his upgrade to tier 2 as he just now starts his expansion over here on the bottom right hand side of the map. Archmage sells the Ring of Protection +4, no big surprise there. Where is this Archmage going to try and travel off to next? That is the question, as the Footman Water Elemental looking to hold on to this expansion location. Panda, the follow-up hero from ReMinD, will open things up with Breath of Fire to blow over the expansion and deal damage to these footmen. Staff of Teleportation, Archmage, going to show up to the party. Water Elemental is already here. Dust of Appearance is on the Archmage, and a beautiful, I would have thought a beautiful block right there, as we are going to be looking at Dust of Appearance should be used. No Dust of Appearance there. Oh, there's the Dust of Appearance being used. There's the repairs on the Scout Tower. Breath of Fire, many of those peasants could get taken down. No additional follow-up Breath of Fire, as the cooldown was still not yet quite done. Keeper of the Grove looking to back away. Militia trying to engage and then turning around, realizing, wait, the Archmage and the Footman are still very far behind him. W3, hence at the moment, hence the low number stream. Well, thank you for the update and the information, as the Water Elemental is now finishing things off here. Yeah, don't expect if the finals are going on right now, Season 7 finals, that is great. I'm glad to see participants in the W3 champions, and that the community is somehow still keeping WarCraft 3 alive. Footmen now going to make their way back over. Archmage going to try and back up, as well as Water Elementals are being dropped to try and pick off those Huntresses. Brewmaster looking to back up again and going to take a little bit of that Water Elemental splash damage. European, Korean, and Chinese players playing together. Yeah, absolutely great sight. Seeing so many, seeing a more centralized Warcraft 3 community. One thing I will point out or make a note, with the recent revelations of Blizzard and their lawsuits and the loss of sponsorship because of their current lawsuit scandals from Overwatch, and maybe it's actually probably tarnishing the Overwatch brand and the StarCraft 2 brand quite a bit. However, it feels like since Warcraft 3 never really went fully under the umbrella of Blizzard, since it has always been a grassroots movement, as opposed to, say, StarCraft Remastered, StarCraft Brood War Remastered, and StarCraft 2. Hopefully, our community will be immune to the current scandals. Hope that they won't get a ping advantage or disadvantage. Yeah, no, centralized ping is pretty useful here. Sock gonna lose a Footman right there. Keeper of the Grove going after that Footman once more. 35 supply compared to 34. ReMinD still with a surprisingly low supply count, but he does have a lot of tech. Meanwhile, tech to tier 2 is nearly done by Sock, as ReMinD is nearly at tier 3, and we should be looking at bears. Coming back around, Sock, taking a play out of the 2005 to 2008 playbook, getting up more and more towers to act as defense. Lumber upgrades and perhaps even masonry upgrades will be next, as Sock does have a decent amount of gold and lumber currently banked up. Unit's going to go ahead, fall back, retreat. Clarity Potion, Scroll of Regeneration used on the Archmage. 43 supply going up against ReMind's 40. And I don't think that ReMind's Panda really put in as much pressure as I thought he would, or I expected. Keeper of the Grove does have an Orb of Venom. I don't see a third hero as of yet. And with Druids of the Claw now making their way out onto the battlefield, well, we are going to start seeing some healing options coming around. A Dryad could have a very bad day. Going to go ahead and back up with no real problem. Druid of the Claw here, absorbing a little bit of damage, and now, while getting an entangle off onto Sock, and that is going to be a problem. Slow Poison coupled with Orb of Venom damage over time. Archmage able to teleport back home. Clarity Potion used right there. Meanwhile, Huntress is going to try and retreat back once more Archmage off to the side as it is a Blood Mage second. Blood Mage, a great support hero, able to shut down enemy spellcasters by taking away their mana and then funneling more mana into your Archmage. That's exactly what we're looking at here, as the Dryads will be forced to try and use Abolish Magic much more onto the Water Elementals, and perhaps then a bit of, well, I don't know if we're going to see any Slow, but Slow can then be cast onto the Bears, who then easily get taken down. Archmage looking to double back around here, gonna get healed up. There is one Sorceress, dual Arcane Sanctum, Spellbreakers, Priest. The unit's gonna get trained up here as the Keeper of the Grove now makes its way over. Alright, 47 supply compared to Sock's 58. Is the army 36 compared to 34. Sock always with a large number of militia, or a large number of peasants. 24 peasants there as the Keeper of the Grove looking to back up again. One Huntress does get taken down. Footman, well, taking a little bit of damage there. Slow Poison going to turn back around as the Huntress, well, has to be careful. Doesn't want to take too much damage from those riflemen with that good range. Turning, continuing to fight. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, Siphon Mana, Anti-Magic Shell, going down all in quick successive order, as Sock going to be losing a couple of footmen here and Water Elementals. This could feed more and more experience to the Keeper of the Grove. Water Elemental down to, well, 46 hit points, still dishing out of that damage as Treants are now coming online too. No Siphon Mana. Siphon Mana finally coming in from the Panda. Panda trying to break the chain as it is able to do that. Staff of Preservation across, I believe that was a Druid of the Claw, as the Archmage continuing to fight their way through. Archmage, well, gets and spell steals a rejuvenation as the units are now trying to back up again. A low hit point Spellbreaker gets taken down in the back as the units are still fighting their way through. All right, coming back through here, Brewmaster down to 102 hit points. Gonna go ahead and back up again. Ancient of Wonders being built just outside of sight range, or within sight range of Sock's farm here, so we could have a follow-up attack momentarily. Staff of Preservation teleporting the Panda all the way back home. He picks up an... No, he does not pick up an Orb of Venom. Doesn't even pick up a Staff of Sanctuary to have dual staves here. You picks up an anti-magic potion, a potion of mana, and also has a wand of mana stealing. Keeper of the Grove coming in from behind here. Huntress joins in on the fight, only to get slowed and now starting to get pinged from behind. That damage does add up very quickly. Druid of the Claw with plenty of mana, trying to get plenty of rejuvenations off. Rifleman gonna perhaps trying to engage off on the side here, as the Panda with full mana gonna, well, launch itself in and try and get Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. Panda still a little bit too far back. Rifleman going to turn back around. Militia now in that frontline spot, as ReMinD wants to create a little bit of distance and separation in this battle. A lot of Druids of the Claw, but Sock still somehow seems to have the advantage here, as he throws Militia at his opponent and doesn't replace them. A Breath of Fire coming back on through. Treants now joining in. Anti-Magic Potion coming online here. And here we are. Here's a major battle as the units will have something to attack even if the armies are not there. Mortar teams joining in on the fight to perhaps get some damage onto those Dryads. Breath of Fire across multiple units. There's a Flame Strike going down as the Bears are standing in a bit of that, well, Flame Strike damage too. Rifleman trying to fight back here. Spellsteal taking some of those roars away, as the Bears losing that damage bonus, giving it to the Sorceresses and the Priest. Panda still continuing to engage here, but, well, that one roar does steal a lot of the mana from those Spellbreakers, as one Bear does get taken down. Level 4, both sides fighting the Flame Strike going across multiple units. Well, level 1 Flame Strike not going to be enough, as mortar teams are now coming in from behind here. Lines are no longer clearly drawn. Both sides are fighting and engaging. 45 supply compared to 53. Sock down to only 10 workers, as another Rifleman gets taken down. Staff of Preservation saves. Scroll of Town Portal used right there, as we could see the death of a Bear. Ooh, yes, at the last possible second. Bear gets taken out. 45 supply compared to 49. Training of additional units will be needed. We are looking at, well, we're looking at workshop here, barracks here, nothing going on across here. This gold mine has about, what, 10, 12, more than 12 minutes of mining left. The Ogre Lord has not been taken out. The Fountains of Health have not been challenged either, as we're going to be looking at the Dryads making their way through. All right, beautiful fight getting underway. Panda going to try and, well, capitalize trouble if ReMinD times this attack perfectly well. Ogre trying to make its way over. There's a little bit of a body block right there. It has nowhere to go. Who's going to get the experience? Archmage. Who's going to get the experience? Is the Archmage going to get it? No, Panda gets it with a breath of fire. Archmage gets the Medallion of Courage, but really wanted that experience as well. Squirrel of Town Portal to try and back away again as the mortar teams are trying to finish off the Dryads. Instead, ReMinD is going to have a pretty much free and easy clear on the remainder of this creep camp, perhaps getting to level 5 on the Panda. All right, Troll High Priest, Force Troll Trapper, both 2 creeps left. I don't believe it will get to level 5, but will get awfully close. Tome of Knowledge being left behind there. Treant's going to get taken down. Archmage, Archmage sitting at 4. Blood Mage sitting at 2, going up against a nearly level 5 Panda who's going to have level 3 Breath of Fire. And a couple along with Keeper of the Grove who has Orb of Venom. Still surprised that ReMinD only has 1 Staff of Preservation between his 2 heroes, especially when investing in bears. Always good to try and, use a Staff of Preservation on your bear. If it's about to die, transform him back into a druid, and then he's able to rejuvenate himself and get back out onto the battlefield in a hurry. Coming back down here, Archmage looking to back away. Blood Mage wants to get up to that next level, but it's just still having difficulties as the Dryads are now coming back across here. Treants are now coming back over. What is going down? Archmage trying to retreat back. Mortar teams, Breath of Fire across multiple, as the Brewmaster does have an anti-magic potion. All right, if ReMinD needs to get some sustaining damage here. The main base is starting to run low on gold, and if ReMinD is not careful, he's going to be stuck in a little bit of a position. Brewmaster gets up to level 5 Siphon mana. Brewmaster no longer has enough mana. Anti-magic potion has come to an end as Militia now joining in on the battle. Big Flame Strike across the center portion of that army. Level 3 on the Blood Mage. Blood Mage goes for level 2 Flame Strike. Could finish off more of these bears as well. There's a lot of low hit point bears that could turn around pretty quickly. There's a Flame Strike. There goes one bear. Staff of Preservation on the another bear, but a second bear may get taken down too. Goblin Zeppelin trying to retreat back. That's a lot of low hit point bears continuing to retreat back once more. That low hit point bear able to retreat back. I thought the flames were going to surround him, but he quickly got out of that tight scenario. However, ReMinD does need to consider transforming these bears and then trying to heal up a lot of low hit point bears here, especially with level 2 Flame Strike on the table. The Blood Mage could easily get back into this game. There's a Flame Strike, and there goes one bear getting burnt to a crisp right there. A second bear could get taken down, and suddenly 8 supply lost by ReMinD, giving experience to the Blood Mage and the Archmage, but really taking away some of those low hit point units. ReMinD trying to, get every ounce of usefulness from the hit points of his every ounce of usefulness from his units by using every hit point, only to quickly see that, those units can in fact die as well. Coming back down to the south here, Blood Mage sitting at level 3, Archmage gonna Staff of Teleportation in, Tome of Retraining now into Blizzard and a Brilliance Aura. So Flame Strike and Blizzard gonna add in a massive AoE damage. Mortar teams will be needed to take on the Dryads now, as there's not going to be as nearly many water elementals. Riflemen also nowhere really to be found. All right, there is about 2 minutes of mining left here in the main base. Meanwhile, 4 minutes of mining of main base mining for Sock, as ReMinD has not been found a way to turn things around as of yet. Keeper of the Grove does have access to Entangle, and I guess at this point and stage in the game, the Keeper of the Archmage is willing to deal with Entangle to stop the channels. All right, in comes some Treants trying to join in on the battle here. Triple guard towers, no masonry upgrades. Breath of Fire going across multiple as we look at a blizzard now raining down here. So far, Archmage is going to try and retreat back. There's a slow being manually cast onto the Panda here, as the Sorceress could end up getting taken down. There it goes, getting blown over pretty quickly. Breath of Fire coming back across Flame Strike and Blizzard. Blood Mage doing a little bit of chasing, trying to walk through his own Flame Strike, not remembering that, hey, it can in fact damage himself. Arcane Tower gonna go off, providing a bit of protection and coverage. 1200 hit points their militia now trying to be brought, or not peasants trying to come in with the repairs, as we're looking at Flame Strike and Blizzard, however, not landing on the majority of those units. You need to kind of cast it in front of them if you believe the bears are going to try and engage. Sock now trying to retreat back, Scroll of Town Portal to try and clear up the clogging damage, as the Flame Strike does hit a good number of bears there. That is a lot of Druids of the Claw, a lot of bears. Once more, as the Archmage now retreats to the back. Rejuvenation was stolen, but priest instead of the Archmage or the Blood Mage, as more Flame Strike coming down. Flame Strike and each wave of Blizzard is 100 points of damage, but, well, not really hitting that many targets. Archmage needs to, well, play this a little bit more carefully. Blood Mage needs a bit more mana. There's Flame Strike coming on through. There's slow. Staff of Preservation saves, as the Breakers now going after those other units. Gold Mines nearly done, or nearly mined. Blizzard raining down here. Archmage, however, going to start running out of mana as we see a quick entangle. Staff of Teleportation in order to get away. Teleport to the back. Blood Mage does have enough mana for a Flame Strike, and Flame Strikes to try and, well, cut off the Panda with his other remaining reinforcements. Bears didn't want to stay there, didn't want to commit all in, and was forced to retreat back. ReMinD sitting nearly level 6 on the Keeper of the Grove. Fly Machine's going to wake up the creeps and now force an engagement. This is a beautiful, beautiful tactic, well, making it difficult, as all the creep camps have woken up and is now starting to attack the Keeper of the Grove and those Dryads. Fly Machine looking to back away here. Ancient of Wonders will get taken down. No big level ups here, as the main gold mine is now done for ReMinD. ReMinD sitting at 60 supply compared to Sock's 55. Sock's early expansion is giving him an advantage here, as he is currently mining 14 gold a second still. With this mining advantage, can he translate it into an overall victory? That is the question, as the Tree of Eternity now, well, actually walking towards the middle portion of the map. Gonna try and hide the expansion right in the middle, but there is a Flying Machine who should see this Tree of Eternity just walk on by. Blood Mage now with the Scroll of Healing to try and offset those that Breath of Fire. Spellbreakers are all right there. Was there a flare? Where was the flare cast? I can't quite tell. As the, well, Bears and Dryads are going to engage. There's a big roar across multiple units, and here we are. There's an engagement. Blizzard quickly destroying all of those bears there, as the units are now trying to retreat back. Wisp's gonna get lined up into position. Are militia being called over? Yes, they are. Anti-magic potion, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, as a quick dispel, and then the Brewmaster losing a little bit of mana right there. Only level 1 siphon mana, not gonna shut things down too much. All right, Brewmaster continuing to come back the other way. Breath of Fire units are trying to get in position. 64 supply compared to 59, as Sock still able to train up more if he just had a bit more farms. More, well, Spell Steal once again, stealing a little bit of damage. Spellbreakers walking through the fire, not really worrying about a thing. Meanwhile, the Blood Mage needs to try and line up a better Breath of Fire, but ReMinD is making it difficult by not clumping all of his units and trying to predict where those Breath of Fires are going to be going. Entangling on the gold mine, nearly done. 59 supply compared to 66. That gold mine is about to be up and operational, as things could be getting underway here. All right, Keeper of the Grove off to the side does have Tranquility now, and with Tranquility, perhaps will be willing to take a little bit of, well, Blizzard damage, as the Treants are now joining in on the battle here. Are we going to see a crab get taken down? No, the crab just trying to walk on through. Trees are going to end up getting taken down. Tome of Agility +2 drop, and now having easy access to the Tree of Eternity. All right, that could potentially be a problem. Mortar teams are going to be lining up into position, starting to attack that Tree of Eternity right here. Meanwhile, ReMinD has nothing to really easily get in position, as a forced engagement is exactly what Sock is looking for. Going to be raining down that raining down that Blizzard and a Flame Strike here in just a second. Control magic on those Treants, as the Flame Strike, well, it does pass on through. That cast was a little bit late. Peasants are going to be in trouble, as a level 2 or level 3 Breath of Fire could take them all down. In comes Tranquility to try and offset some of the damage, as the Archmage quickly going to use a Scroll of Town Portal to get away. Tree of Eternity down to 1,500 hit points. Treants are going to end up getting taken down here, giving almost level 6 to that Brewmaster, as the Keeper of the Grove stays at level 6. Archmage is at 4. Blood Mage is at 3. A scroll of healing used here. Scroll of healing used there. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire across multiple units. Are we going to see a scroll of healing be used by the Blood Mage here to try and offset? That's a bunch of low hit point units. Siphon mana. Archmage, is he going to be able to Breath of Fire? Oh, no more mana. He was in mid cast and unable to do so. There goes a Breath of Fire onto the Militia right there as the Mortar team's flopping back the other way. 62 supply compared to 52, and a big, massive Flame Strike right in the middle. This could be the turning tide of the battle as the Brewmaster now in a little bit of a precarious situation. He gets taken down. He was ventured too far, and the Spellbreakers cut off his plan of retreat. Archmage now does have a Blizzard coming across. Blood Mage could try to get another Flame Strike down, and what is going to be dealing more damage? Archmage and Flame Strike. Blizzard and Flame Strike going up against Tranquility. Keeper of the Grove now on cooldown right there as the Blood Mage does need to retreat back here. Does have a Scroll of Healing. 59 supply compared to 43. Sock is in a bit of trouble. Lost a lot here, but that is a massive amount of damage across multiple bears. One bear getting taken down. Another group of bears could get taken down. Priest could get taken down right here. One more shot. Archmage should be able to finish off that Druid of the Cloud. There goes another again. And now 51 supply compared to 41 as the slow bears making that slow trek back to try and regroup. Archmage could try and pick up some additional healing items. There's a Scroll of Healing again. Remember, Panda is out right now. He is not able to use Staff of Preservation either, and there is still a slight gold advantage, or a major gold advantage now for Sock, as he is no longer in upkeep. 10 gold a second compared to 7, as the Blood Mage could turn back around. There's a Flame Strike across multiple units. It's going to get find some damage onto the Druid of the Claw. 178 damage. Bears now down to 166 as the Bears are trying to retreat away. This war of attrition, army size difference, 26 supply compared to 46, but the AoE damage of the Druid, of the Archmage and the Blood Mage starting to really take its toll on this slow-moving army. Blizzard raining down here, a little bit more damage. Druid of the Claw able to back away. Staff of Preservation with the save there, as the Blood Mage taking some of his own friendly damage once more. Remember, though, Staff of Preservation moves you closer to the Tree of Eternity, which is at the expansion here. The Druid of the Claw still could get taken down, or a fight could ensue here, especially with 3 mortar teams. This is a glass cannon army as the Archmage makes its way over Tree of Eternity, taking quite a bit of damage, as the Dryads are now going to make their way over. All right, Archmage, the mortar team's going to perhaps try and turn back around. A little bit of damage onto the Tree of Eternity. That's it. No weapon upgrades for those mortar teams. Drunken or Breath of Fire, Tranquility, all being used here. More Spellbreakers trying to be added. ReMinD has more gold, should be able to hold off this attack as the Blood Mage, or there in comes some of the Blizzard again as the mortar team's able to shoo back the attack. Flame Strike, well, finally completing. They're trying to, well, force a little bit more of a battle. The Treants are actually changing the landscape of this fight here as the Keeper of the Grove gets an entangle off onto the Blood Mage, and Sock does throw in the towel there. ReMinD coming in with the victory, even though he had the lower resource score and the unit score was neck and neck. In the end, a level 6 Keeper of the Grove, even losing that level 5 Panda, still had enough gas and energy alongside the rest of his army for the victory. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you guys think about this game in the comments below.